Hi, can I order tea and 2 sugars, please?
Hi guys, and welcome to Tea and Two Sugars. My name is Tatty, I'll be your host for this podcast, and welcome to my first podcast. I am so happy that we are here chatting over your headphones, through your TV, through your phone, wherever you are listening/watching. Welcome to my very first podcast. I have been wanting to do this podcast for, I'm going to say, at least 2 years. I remember having meetings about it in 2023. And now I get to grace you with me in your ear holes. So you can thank me for that. Things you need to know about me. I'm Tatty, like I say. You may know me from TikTok. I'm the Storytime girly. I'm the Steve and Amy girl. I'm here to serve you the tea, the juice, the feral stories, because some of the things you guys send in are absolutely horrific, barbaric, borderline illegal sometimes. But that's good. We're here for the drama. We love the drama, Mick. Now, I want you guys to get to know me a little bit better, so I'm going to tell you how my week's been. So I've been building furniture this week. We recently moved house, finally got a dining table. I've been in my strong, independent builder era. Bob the Builder who? No, it's just me. I built my dining table. I had my power drill going. I felt sexy with zzz, 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 but then came to fucking Allen keys. Allen keys are the bane of my life. I hate them. They're not fun to use. I've got blisters all over my freshly manicured fingers because of stupid Allen key. Which brings me to the first segment of this podcast, the boiling point. Now, the boiling point is the thing that has tipped me over the edge. It's wound me up. It's caused me some anxiety, some anger this week. And mine for this episode is Allen keys. I'm sure in this ripe year of 2024, we can come up with a better way to screw random screws in. I also figured out halfway through, it took me far too long to realise this, you can use an Allen key both ways. Blew my mind. Did anyone else know that? Because now you do. I prefer using a drill. And it's a really, really first world problem that is the one thing that's wound me up this week. But yeah, Allen keys, they're not for me. And then to balance that out, we have my two sugars. These are two things that have made my life that little bit sweeter, a bit nicer. And my two sugars this week. First one, the Maybelline Teddy Tints. It's like a lip tint for your lips, like a lip stain, but they have the most gorgeous colours. I am wearing it now, so I hope you like it. Couldn't tell you the shade, but you can wear them on their own like I am with a little lip balm over the top. You can put a lip liner on to give you that real lip stain look, or put a gloss over it and you've got a lip combination that's going to last you all night, eating, drinking, kissing, smooching, and you'll look great, especially if you've got like parties, Valentine's Day, first dates. I got you covered. My second sugar is my jelly cat. Tell me that's not the cutest thing you've ever seen. This is Joe. Say hi, Joe. Great. Joe is my new favourite thing. You cannot tell me that this is not the cutest thing you've ever seen in your life. There are some men in my life that be like, I don't get the jelly cat hype. Well, you need to grow up because look at his little legs. Look at his little legs. He's called Joe because cup of Joe, obviously. I kind of wanted to call him Sturdy because if I really move the chair, he doesn't move that much. But we've gone with Joe, Joseph the Cup for his full name. So those are my two sugars, Maybelline Teddy Tints, and funnily enough, my second one, a little teddy jelly cat. So let me introduce you to the people you need to know about. Obviously, I'm Tatty, quite important to the podcast, but we also have a few different characters. So we have Steve. Any male in my characters is automatically called Steve. Steve is a husband, Steve is a boyfriend, a fiance, a dad, a best friend. He's normally sleeping with someone he shouldn't be. He's being a bit of a twat, a bit of an arsehole, cheating. All of the bad vibes come from Steve. Then we have Amy. Amy is our girl version of Steve. Amy's not a girl's girl. She's cheating. She's moving mad. She's a best friend who doesn't give best friend vibes. Then we have Joe, who just brings pure vibes. Look at him. Adorable little bean. And that is everyone. Tatty, Steve, and Amy. Your storytime best friends. All right, let's see what we have got in the inbox today. I'm just going to take a little sip from out my teacup. Is this not the most adorable thing in the world? Today in the teacup, we have Pepsi Max, because what else was I going to have? It's fresh as well. It's bubbling. Can you hear that? I hope you can hear that. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, let's see what you hooligans are up to in my inbox this week. Starting out strong. We've got a secret. We listen and we don't judge. My boyfriend had a secret I never saw coming. Story time. So, let me tell you a bit about my boyfriend and how he turned my life into a full-blown soap opera. Alexa, play the EastEnders theme tune. We'll call him Steve. Steve and I had been dating for about a year, and honestly, things were perfect. Babe, that's how it starts. That should be how it is. It should be perfect at the start. He was sweet, funny, great with my friends, and he even remembered the little things like my favourite coffee order. And basically, I thought I had hit the boyfriend jackpot. And it's all downhill from there, isn't it? I always think it's nice in a relationship when they remember the smaller things like your coffee order, like your favourite sweet, not like the big things. I don't know if it's a love language, but like the intricate details, they mean a lot to me. But of course, life had other plans because apparently I can't have nice things. You can have nice things. Just Steve isn't a nice thing and that's not your fault. So a few weeks ago, Stephen started acting weird. Like not your typical I'm busy with work weird. I mean shady. Shady Steve. Well, the real Slim Stevie, please stand up. It worked in my head. His phone was always on silent and he'd literally take it with him everywhere. Shower, phone. Taking the trash out, phone. I joked and I was like, what are you hiding? State secrets on there? He laughed it off, but I was really side-eyeing him hard. Listen, Hans, this is what we need to be looking out for, this type of behaviour. I want to see your phone face up on the table for all to enjoy and our viewing pleasure. It starts with phone down on the table so we can't see it, and then it starts being taken everywhere with you. We need to be looking out for this behaviour from our Steves. Then came the late nights. He was like, oh, I've got to stay late at work. He'd say that the guys want to grab drinks, which, okay, sure. I'm not a psycho. Go hang out with your friends. But I started to see it happening a lot. Too much. Listen, a good boundary in a relationship is perfect. You want that time with your friends. Platonic relationships are just as important as romantic relationships. But if you've got time to be seeing your friends that much, you've got time to be taking me on date nights. When was the last time he bought you flowers and took you out for a nice steak? Like a Miller and Carter situation. Nice big lettuce wedge. I fucking love Miller and Carter. That lettuce wedge, my favourite, was the ranch with croutons, and they've taken it off the menu, and I simply will not be attending there any further because it's ruined my week. It's ruined my whole life. All right. So naturally, I did what any rational girlfriend would do, and I went full FBI mode. We've all been there, baby cakes. Don't judge me. I checked his social media for clues, and nothing. And then I casually asked his friends what was up. They just acted normal, which was actually even sketchier. Yeah, because your friends, they're going to cover him. And if someone is really riding that nothing is wrong, it's like trying to patchwork a lie. You've got that again. So we're looking out for phones being taken and friends being overly passionate about how nothing is wrong. Then I remembered my good friend Find My iPhone. You know, the thing we set up months ago, but he kept losing his phone. Right. I'm assuming this means that he'd be like, oh, I lost my phone. That's why it's at a coffee shop at midday on a Tuesday when I should be in a meeting. Or it's at my friend's house. That's why I've not been replying to you because I left it there. Which, if you're taking it to the toilet and to take the rubbish out, Steve, we're taking it to the friend's house. Like, double standards. Who? I also recently found Find My Friends. I've never used it before. And it's like having Sims, but like with your mates. It's very fun. One night when he told me he was working late, I decided to check. Surprised it took you this long. Surprise, surprise, he wasn't at work. He was at some random address across town. That's so American, across town. My heart was in my throat and I was like, oh, this is how I end up on a true crime podcast. Well, congratulations. You've ended up on a podcast, but it's not a true crime one, so I couldn't fulfill that wish, but hopefully this is a little bit easier on you. So I did the only logical thing. I grabbed my keys, jumped in my car and drove over there. Girly pop, if you're my friend, I'd be sat right next to you in that car seat. I'd be playing all the bad bitch songs. We'd have Cardi B on. We'd have a bit of Adele maybe. We'd be getting Nicki Minaj on. We'd be hyping the fuck up. We'd have Little Mix, shout out to my ex. Windows down, music blaring. So we're driving across town. I grab my keys and I drive over there because clearly I have no self-preservation. When I got to the address, I was there. It was a nice suburban house. The lights were on and there was loads of cars in the driveway. I thought, is he at some kind of party? Girl, hopefully not. I'm assuming it's a Monday evening. And who's he at this party with when he's supposed to be at a work meeting? I parked down the street. Yes, clever moves. If you're ever in this situation, girly pops, we park down the street, preferably maybe a street over, lights off. We can't be being seen by number plate recognition, you know? We need to be thinking ahead, thinking clever, because these Steves aren't thinking clever. Clearly, he's left his bloody location on. So this is when I decided to text him and say, hey, how's work going? He replied instantly and was like, ugh, so busy, probably gonna have to stay here all night. Oh, really? Liar, big fat liar. This is when anger took over. I decided to knock on the front door. Yeah, those self-preservation, none. That could have been anyone. He could have been at some swingers party for all you'd know. Well, actually, if he was at a swingers party, you should have been there. Maybe he was just at like a random cult situation. Lovely. Big into cults at the minute. Not in one, just love learning about them. So I knocked on the door. Don't know why, but I was running on pure adrenaline. A woman answers the door. She is in her mid-30s. She looks super put together and has that I own a Peloton and drink green juice energy. That's how I want to be when I grow up. I'd love someone to look at me and think that. So this is when I say, hi, so sorry to bother you, but is Steve here? Her face dropped and she goes, you must be Lily. First of all, how do you know my name? Second of all, why do you know about me? Third of all, where's my boyfriend? Why is he in your house? So I'm like, yeah, who are you? She takes a big deep breath and says, I'm his wife. Wife? Sorry? Wife? Oh, Steve. Guys, stop cheating on your wives. It's very simple. Read a book if you're bored. Read a book, learn a new language, learn Spanish. It's a very romantic language if you're looking for some romance in your life. So, yes, wife. Jake had a whole ass wife and a house, a picture perfect life, and he forgot to mention this during our year of dating. I know, get this. They have 2 children. He has kids. I always feel bad in these situations because, like, she can leave him and never have to see him again. But those children have grown up with him being a father. He was probably a really great father. You said that he is really detail oriented. I bet he knows what their favorite sandwiches are. And I bet he makes their lunch every day. Oh, Steve. I also think as well, your kids are going to learn about your infidelity. That is not a good relationship to be growing up with. You want to be a good role model, and cheating and sleeping with other women is not a good thing, Stephen. Yeah, full named you. And Joe agrees, don't you, Joe? Yeah. Hear what he said. So this is when she turns round and calls Steve's name upstairs. He walks down, sees me, and freezes like a deer in headlights. You know what we should do with that situation? Hit him with your car. Sometimes deers get hit by cars. Very sad. But sometimes Steve Deer deserves it. I said, so this is your late night work meeting? He starts stammering. Of course he does. At least, Steve, get your words together. Come on, babe. Surely he saw this coming. He's like, I can explain. Fine. Explain. I want a full 4,000-word essay with point, evidence, explanation, and link as to why you think this is acceptable and why you've been cheating on your wife and your girlfriend. Is there any other names that maybe he's got a fiance? Why don't we cheat on her as well? Read a book, Steve. Lord. So that is when I look at his wife, I look at Steve, and then I look back at his wife and I say, good luck with this clown. I hope you snapped in her face and strutted off, giving some bad bitch energy. Get back in your car and put Cardi B on ASAP. So I'm walking down his driveway. I see that. Yeah, get that hip wiggle. And then I hear the wife call my name. And this is the kicker. What could possibly be added to this situation? She runs after me and says, wait, are you the only one? I don't fucking know, babe. I didn't even know there was a wife. What do you mean am I the only one? Do you not see the bamboozled, the absolute flabbergast on my face? I didn't even know you existed, babe. So now I'm paranoid. What does that even mean? How many girlfriends does he have? And honestly, do I even want to know? No, you don't want to know. Ignorance is bliss, babe. So yeah, that's my life. Do you think I should have done more or just let them both deal with this mess? Yeah, she's married to him. Let her deal with it. You can just walk off and never ever see this man again. She's got two human beings to be attached to this guy with. She clearly knew about you, so I assume she was somewhat okay about it. Maybe they get a divorce. I don't know, nor do I care. You're my main priority. Actually, if you're the wife, could you get in touch and let me know your side of this story? Because I want to know if you know about her. I want to know if this is okay. Do you have a boyfriend? Do you have a fiancé? You do not deserve this, honey pie. You need to move on from this guy. I don't know how you want to do that, whether you want to go on more dates with some people, but I think it may take some time for your trust to build up. I would maybe casually date, spend a lot of time with your friends, get to know yourself. A year relationship is a long time. You get back to loving yourself deeply. Maybe you could learn Spanish. That would be nice. Maybe move to Spain, actually. Move to Spain, learn Spanish, meet a nice Spanish man who will make you nice prosciutto, and that's as far as my Spanish food knowledge goes. Sorry. Spanish foods. Iberian ham. My friend Grace loves Iberian ham. Maybe try some Iberian ham. That'll fix everything. I'm really sorry, hon. Do let us know if you find out if there are any other girlfriends, though, because I'd love the update. Right, let's have a sip of Pepsi to recover from that shenanigan. Alrighty, who we got next in the inbox? Please keep anonymous. Of course, babe, I'm never going to dob you in. So, am I the arsehole for not wanting my cousin / best friend of 21 years to be at my wedding? Here's why. This is a shame. 21 years is a long time to have someone so close to you not there for your special day. But I'm sure there's a very good reason. So let's get into it. To start off, there was this guy I had broken up with, who we'll call Steve. Welcome to the chat. But we had decided to stay friends after we broke up. An interesting choice for me. I would never choose to be an ex. I think then it never ends well, especially when you then go on to get a new relationship. Like, do you have to be like, hi, this is my best friend Steve. We actually were together for 10 years. It's just odd. Very mature, but not for me. One day I was hanging out with my cousin, who we'll call Amy, and Steve called me. I introduced him to Amy and they immediately became friends over the phone. They're like, hiya, my name's Steve and nice to meet you. Let's be best friends. I'm Amy. Whoop-de-doo. Then they exchanged numbers, and the next week, Amy told me that she was going to ask out Steve. Why? That's not friend material at all. You don't do that. You don't get with your friend's ex. Thanks for telling me, but no, not doing that. Why do you want her sloppy seconds anyway? Weirdo. I told her I was uncomfortable with this, and she completely ignored me and continued to then ask him out for dinner. Steve texted me telling me the situation, and he had ended up rejecting Amy. Ha 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 ha. Embarrassing, Amy. So this is when I went no contact with Amy for a few weeks. We didn't speak, and she ended up coming back and begging for forgiveness. Yeah, get on your hands and knees and beg. Do you know what we do? We forgive, but we don't forget. Keep your enemies close. I finally accepted her apology, and we went back to being close friends. Then a year goes by and I meet someone who I absolutely fall in love with. Love that. We'll call him Alan. Yay, our first Alan. So I had Amy and Alan round at my flat so they could meet each other. It's always a tense moment when you're getting your family to meet your partners, isn't it? You want everything to go well. You don't want your uncle to be racist or say anything homophobic or be the slightest bit out of line. It's always a bit tetchy, and you just want everyone to be on their best behaviour. There's always one person that acts up, and I'm guessing it's going to be Amy. Shocker. The second they met, Amy asks for his number. Why do you need his number, Amy? It's not necessary. If you need to get in touch, you can get in touch through me. You can follow him on Instagram. I find having someone's number very personal. You just have them at any time. So she asked for my boyfriend's number. So odd. I said that this was not a good idea and I didn't trust her because of what happened a few years ago. Yeah, I think that's a very valid point. God, Amy is bold with these movements. She called me a jealous, stuck-up biatch. Who are you, Regina George? She then said that she just wanted to get to know Alan. Okay, well, you can do it at family functions when you see him every 6 months. There's no need for you to know him that well. Fast forward a few years, now me and Alan are engaged and we are getting married in 6 weeks' time. Congratulations. Oh, I'm so happy for you. I hope that you have a lifetime of happiness together. We announced this at a family function. Immediate and extended family were there, including Amy. Oh, I bet she was fucking fuming. That night when we went out for dinner with my family, Amy was clearly flirting with Alan. She was being very, very touchy with him. Oh, it's just, why do it in front of your family? Well, actually, why do it at all? But she must think that she is God's gift. Not only to think that she can flirt with someone else's partner, and then to do it in front of family. Where are her parents? They've clearly done something strange with how they've raised her. I told her that I was really, really uncomfortable with how she was acting towards him, and that a lot of our relatives have also noticed how she was behaving towards Steve. The next morning, I decided to call her and I told her I no longer wanted her at my wedding. Yeah, you don't want anyone at your wedding that doesn't want the best for you and your relationship, and clearly she is doing everything within her power to separate you, to cause tension. I think some people are so insecure that they get great pride from splitting up a relationship. They think, I must be so gorgeous, I must have a great personality, I must be so irresistible for him to want to not be with his partner or cheat or whatnot. So strange. I hope she goes to therapy to sort that out and she finds some self-motivation, reassurance from somewhere. She did not take this well. She flipped out and she went off. So she went, oh, ew, Amy's strange. So she went off at you on the phone, but then calls you back later and it's apologising profusely. Yeah, because she's realised she's effed up, right? She's now barred from the wedding. People are going to be like, why isn't Amy here? And you'll be like, I don't know, maybe because she's a twat. That could be why, because she's an inconsiderate arsehole. So, am I wrong for not wanting her at my wedding? No. You need someone there that is going to want the best for you and your relationship. I think here's what you do. You need doormen. You need people at that party that are keeping an eye out for her, because I'm concerned she's going to have a bee in her bonnet and she's going to pull her I object. She's going to halt the wedding. And also, did you know, if someone says I object during a wedding, you then aren't legally allowed to proceed with the ceremony. You have to wait at least 2 weeks, I think it is, before you can then get married. I don't know if that's true. I think someone might have commented that on my video. But you don't want any sort of postponement to your wedding at all. I would also maybe have someone in your bridal party or like a close friend that is coming to the ceremony and to your evening that is on Amy watch. You know, someone that can still enjoy the day but is wanting the best for you. You and Alan deserve all the happiness. This is your day. You've put on such lovely work for yourself. Alan, I assume, would also not want her there because she's just odd. She's baffling to me. Such strange behaviour. But yeah, I wish you all the best and I hope your wedding day goes very, very well. How exciting. Okay, this one, guys, is just fucking weird. I read through my inbox sometimes and there's some funny bits, there's some stories that are like juicy, and then there's just stuff like this. Are you listening, Joe? Sit up straight for this. Act like you want to be here. Am I wrong for hooking up with my brother? Okay? Am I wrong for hooking up with my brother on my wedding day? I'm gonna go with yeah, because that is wrong on many, many levels. So, my now ex-husband proposed to me 9 months ago, and we had been together for 6 years before he had proposed. That's a very fast wedding. 9 months. You can only birth a child in 9 months. I have always been close to my brother, but it wasn't until I announced my engagement at a dinner one time with family and friends that I realised what our connection was, and it was very different to what we would have thought. Also, a little background information. My brother and my now ex-husband were best friends. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's even worse. So, like, childhood best friend. Oh, no. Just don't do any of this. It's fucking strange. I'm not judging. We listen, say it together. We listen and we don't judge. So they had been friends since they were very little, and my brother has been married to my sister-in-law for 4 years. She's put, oops, not oops. This is not an oops moment. Oops is when you spill your tea on your friend's sofa. Oops is not sleeping with your brother so he cheats on his wife and you cheat on your fiancé. No. The night of the hen do, I was very, very drunk, standard, and called my brother to come and pick me up. While we were driving home, I ended up confessing my feelings and telling him everything. God, I'd have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that conversation. Ooh! Let's just say the next morning I woke up next to my brother, and since then we couldn't keep our hands off each other. It's giving Jamie and Cersei Lannister, I fear. Oh, God. I feel ill. I feel violently ill, nauseous. The wedding day arrives, and 5 minutes before I'm about to walk down the aisle, one of my bridesmaids walks in and me and my brother kissing. And is like, sorry to interrupt. We need to walk down the aisle now. Did she know? Did this bridesmaid know? Because I feel like that's a very, very chilled response to finding your best friend getting with her brother. 5 minutes before as well. It's like a first look. Wow. But the videographer was like, what the bejesus is going on here? Sweet home Alabama. So now I'm trying to walk down the aisle and trying to act as if this had never happened. The ceremony was beautiful. And then we get to the reception. And this is where we finish up all the speeches. It's all going well until I hear a scream from my maid of honor, who is also my sister-in-law. You are just out to ruin this woman's life. I look at my brother looks at me, and my now ex-husband looks so confused. She runs over to my brother and she screams, "You dirty little cheater. How could you do this to me?" And then she drops the bombshell. "And with your sister." Oh, so everyone's come to this wedding. Oh, yeah, Steve and Amy's wedding. It's going to be a beautiful occasion. Come to find out that the bride is getting with the brother of the bride. Do you know what? Spectacular. I bet that was the talk of the town in the office the next morning. How was the wedding? You'll never fucking guess what. The bride was sleeping with the brother. My husband looks at me dead in the eye, and I knew in that moment it was all over. I'm writing this now 3 weeks later, and I have been served divorce papers. God, speedy. I hope that wasn't a weekend. Some lawyer working overtime, getting that divorce settlement lined up. Oh, God, you think it's bad, and then it gets worse, and then this happens. Oh, and I'm pregnant. And let's just say I'm not convinced it's my husband's. Right. If you're going to sleep with your brother, which I don't recommend, at least use some form of protection, because I don't think incest is the best option ever. And I don't think children from incest have the best time, from what I've heard. Can cause some quite difficult health issues. So when you're going for your scans, I'd maybe mention the incestuous relationship that you've had with your brother and that you are concerned for the child. Because I personally am. What do you think, Joe? Are you concerned for the child? Yeah. You are the arsehole. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. You are the arsehole for getting with your brother. Not just because you've committed incest, but also because you've ruined your ex-husband's life. He's going to have some serious trust issues moving forward. And also, the maid of honor. You must have had a good relationship with her to have her as the maid of honor. Poor sister-in-law. Maybe the sister-in-law and your ex-husband should get together. They have a lot in common. So yeah, mention the incest at your scan. Find out the gender of the baby. Make sure it's happy. Your child's uncle is also going to be the dad. Good luck with explaining that. Let me know how that goes. Wish you a healthy and happy pregnancy, I guess. Right, I'm going to top up the teacup, because after that, I'm just need a break. Ready for the ASMR? Ooh. Wasn't as spicy as I was hoping it would be. I'm hoping each week to change what's in the teacup, so if you have any suggestions ever, please do let me know. Clink. keeping it with the family drama. He cheated on me, so I stole his grandma. Please don't steal people's elderly relatives, especially not other people's. Not that it's okay to steal your own. But kidnapping is a crime. Right. Here we go. Hey girl, hopefully you see this. I'd love to get your reaction. Congratulations. I'm here. So let me introduce you to my scum of the earth boyfriend, Steve. Steve and I have been together for a little over 2 years. We have had a very love-hate relationship at times, but every single time come back stronger. Okay, interesting. Oh, Lord. Steve struggles to keep his hands to himself. And I have found out that he cheated on me within the first 2 weeks of our relationship. That should be the easiest time not to cheat. That should be your honeymoon phase. You should be so in love, not be able to keep your hands off each other. He should be bringing you flowers, chocolates, that type of thing. So we did argue about this, but then we broke up. Oh no. But then we decided to give it another go because it was so early on in the relationship. Oh, Stephen, you hurt my heart. The day before our 1 year anniversary, I also found out that Steve slept with one of my best friends. I sacked off the best friend, but told Steve that, but Steve told me it's because he'd been so lonely because I had been working so much. Bearing in mind, I was working to pay our rent because he was too tired to get a job. So this man is living rent-free in your house whilst you're working for him to essentially cheat with your best friend. I know you sacked the best friend off, but maybe we should have sacked the boyfriend off at the same time. Double standards ever so slightly. It is hard though. You do get wrapped up in the love bubble. One day before your anniversary as well. I'm sad that he ruined that. Also, tell Steve to get a job. Such a strange excuse. If he's too tired to get a job, he should be too tired to sleep with your best friend. Now is probably a good time to add that Steve was raised by his grandma, who was the sweetest lady ever. That's savage. She's a typical lady. She always has her rollers in. Is it me? Am I the grandma? She bakes cakes and she watches EastEnders every single night and then goes to sleep. She eats, sleeps, EastEnders, repeats. Ooh. She has provided everything for Steve growing up, and he thinks thought the world of her. Aw, she sounds like a lovely little lady. I'm getting the vision of the grandma from Red Riding Hood for some reason. Now, last week bloody hell. Last week I got the hey babe message. That is my worst fear. Not gonna lie, I'd hate to get a hey babe message. I found out that Steve had a whole other girlfriend and she is called, ready? You're not gonna guess this, Amy. She sent me receipts, evidence, and photos of them from months ago. So this had been going on a long time. She apologized and said she had no idea about me, but wanted to call me and tell me something girl to girl. She was pregnant. Oh no. Oh, that must have been so difficult for you to hear. I was fuming and I screamed down the phone at the girl and hung up. We don't scream at the girl. It's not her fault. I have never been an aggressive person, but something took over me. Yeah, if aggression is ever going to be a thing, it's probably in this type of situation because I see that I would too be quite aggressive. I wanted to hurt Steve in a way that would never be repairable. Oof, she's feeling feisty. After all the things he had done to me. Yeah, he's cheated on you once, he cheated on you again, and now he's cheated on you a third time, and now we've got a child involved. So, yeah. I took a moment, I took a big deep breath. Good, compose yourself, girl. When you're thinking of these massive revenge plots, life-altering revenge, you really want to compose yourself. Make sure you're in the right frame of mind. Joe would know he gets Larry all the time. Look at that little shit. He's a fucking mad one. You don't want to get on the wrong side of Joe. So, took a deep breath. I decided I'm going to get myself a nice cold glass of water. So I went downstairs and that was when I saw his... Oh, fuck my life. And that is when I saw his grandma's urn on our fireplace. Not the urn. I imagine this beautiful ceramic vase sat with dead grandma inside it. I knew what had to be done. Did you? Were there not many other things we could do in this situation other than... How did we go from revenge, urn straight away. We could have done sardine oil in the car, bean him, can of beans. Do you know how much they stink in the car? Egg him, expose on TikTok. I've heard story times on TikTok do quite well, so you could have done that. Oh, lordy. I took grandma off the shelf. I've just got an image of an urn on a shelf with rollers and an apron on. I took grandma off the shelf, jumped in my car. Wow, we're really kidnapping the urn. I drove straight to the nearest cliff. It's a full production here. This girly pop has said, I will get content out of this situation. I set up my tripod and pressed record. This is when I said to Steve, you have taken everything pure and precious from me during our relationship. So now I'll take everything precious and pure from you. I then threw the urn off the cliff. I sent him the video and blocked him, packed up my shit and moved out. Did I take it too far? Yes. I'd love to be a girl's girl and say that, no, fuck him, screw him, he's such a loser arsehole. The grandma should never have been brought into this situation. She was just a sweet old lady who did the right thing and raised this boy and thought she was doing it right. But you threw her off a cliff. And what if she didn't want her ashes scattered off a cliff? What if she wanted them scattering in Bali or with the dolphins in Hawaii? I don't fucking know. And I hope that wasn't the whole of grandma. I hope the rest of the family have a little portion of her ashes, because I'd be absolutely livid if a disgruntled ex did that with my grandma. She's still alive. God bless her soul. Long live the Queen. Yeah, you did take it too far. If you ever do need some tips on how to get back at an ex, me and Joe, we've got them all planned out. We actually have a list. So we're always here for that. Like I say, sardine, tuna, anything to do with fish, fish in the carpet, fish in the walls, fish in the bedding. You could find a dog with fleas, set it loose in its house, because they're a nightmare to get rid of, so I'm told. Yeah, you did take it too far, but I'm sorry he treated you that way, and that is not very fair for you. And that, everyone, is our final story time. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. If you would like to send in a story time, head over to our socials. It is Tea and Two Sugars on all platforms. It'll be linked if you're watching on YouTube. You can check it out in the bio. There'll be a link in the bio of all of those platforms where you can send in your confessions, your questions. I am here to answer them all for you. I'm here for you every Wednesday. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next week. Tatty bye. Bye.
Please fill my cup. Am I really asking for much? It's been a long week, I'm looking for fun. Please fill my cup. Find me under the sun. SOS, I'm just looking for a good time. Oh, 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 oh. And I'm singing like, whoa.